Welcome to the Helpful Honda Music Lounge. My name is Kayla from 102.7 KIIS FM, here with Maisie Peters. Give it up one more time. How are you? You just got off of tour. I'm sure you're exhausted and all over the place. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm still actually on tour. I'm on 2 tours. I just finished
Okay.
one of them, but I'm still on the other one.
All over the place, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have loved you since your first album came out.
Aw, thank you.
I know in one particular song, you had a song where you said that you still didn't have your driver's license.
Yes.
And you're like 20. So I have to ask, do you now have your driver's license?
Guys,
2 years later?
guys, you know what this is? It's a driver's license. Here it is.
There we
do.
go.
I do have a
How
driver's
long
license.
did it take? Like how many tries?
3 years. 3 years, 3 instructors, 3 tests, and I've driven 3 times since, and that was 2.5 years ago. So it was well worth it.
I love it. So what else has significantly changed in your life since your very first album?
Other than my driver's license, which was a huge one. I've moved house a bunch of times. I've toured around the world really between my first and my second album. I've literally been on tour for almost 2 years even. I've been around Europe and the UK and North America and Australia and some of Asia. So those will be major things, I think.
The best memory that sticks out to you right now for the past 2 years. What is it?
Oh my goodness, that's a very hard question.
So many, right?
It's always funny things that stick out to you. From touring and from music, I would say maybe when we... Oh, it's so hard. There's so many to choose from. I would say when we went to Australia and we did some fun things. I held a koala. I saw a stingray in the ocean, and I saw a turtle and a shark, and that was so good.
Nice. Okay. So your new album, The
Yes.
Good Witch, how did you decide on that title?
It was the last thing I decided on, but I'd already written the song as an option in case I decided on that title because I wanted to have an opening track like my first album that sort of was like a timestamp of who and where I was at the time. So I wrote that song in case I decided on that title, but I guess I don't really remember where the phrase came from. It just was sort of knocking about in my head, but I liked the sort of the sort of the power and the chaos and the destruction and the femininity that the Good Witch suggested or connoted as a title. And then I wrote the song, and it's within the song, which obviously I liked. So it sort of came together.
When making this album, what feeling were you hoping to evoke from your fans when they're listening to it for the very first time?
I always say I really don't mind. I'd love it if the album can become part of people's lives, and it can, when I get messages and they're like, oh, I play your album on every single day on my way to work, or I play it before my first date, or I played it when I was graduating, or I heard it all throughout high school, or whatever it is. I just love hearing that, and as long as someone can take it into their lives and make it a part of their lives, that's the best thing for me.
Yeah. Well, you just played my favorite song off of the album, and I wanted to tell you because, I feel like we all have been through a breakup, right? We've all been in the situation where you feel like you're not good enough and, you're dumped, and especially in the time of my life that I'm going through. And I'm sure you have a lot of fans that come up to you and say stuff like, wow, your music really helped me get through this time. How does that feel to you?
That's so cool. It's crazy that I can be part of so many people's lives and I don't even know about it. But I love hearing that. And, I have songs and artists and albums that have been that for me. So it's so cool for me to be that for someone else.
Yeah. Has there been any situation where a fan has come up to you and said, this specific song, changed my life? Do you have a story to tell about that?
I'm sure I do. I'm trying to think. What's something? I get messages all the time, literally about all of the songs on the album, which is so crazy. But I love hearing all of them, and whenever people come up to me and they're like, I love BSC, I listen to it all the time. I'm like, girl, are you okay? Are you okay? And yeah, there's different levels of are you okay for whatever song on the album is your favorite. What's your favorite one?
The one you just played.
Lost the Breakup?
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
Yeah, I think that's quite a mentally stable song to like. I think so.
What song off the album do you feel most empowered performing?
I really like playing BSC. I really like playing You're Just a Boy and I'm Kind of the Man. Those are empowering songs. Those are songs where you don't feel, the weight of your own sadness. Those are good ones.
So you did just finish your tour with Ed Sheeran, which is amazing. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. I saw on your Instagram you posted a picture of the two of you sitting on a stage in an empty stadium. And like I can't imagine what it's like to, work with somebody who is so seasoned in the game and just be able to learn and watch everything that he does. What are some of the things that, you've learned just by being with him for the past a year and a half?
Yeah, so many things. Ed's amazing and he's so inspiring. And I think that he's so generous with his time and he's so kind to people, everybody that he meets, and it doesn't matter who you are. He's sort of just as nice, just as respectful and lovely. And that's such a good thing to see, especially because he's seeing so many people every single day, and he's always so polite and kind and lovely to everybody, and that's so cool to see, and I definitely try and emulate that in my own life.
Yeah. So you're still kind of like new in the game, and I'm sure so many people have given you advice, and maybe even Ed Sheeran. What is the greatest piece of advice that you have gotten that maybe you want to share to somebody who wants to be in your shoes one day?
That's a good question. I would say that maybe just try and take, because there'll be so many ups and there'll be so many downs, and it's definitely like a roller coaster of a thing to do. If you're doing, I'm sure if your job is also the thing that you love, it's also your passion, it's also your hobby, and it's also your job, and it's like that's a very that's a complicated thing to do with your life, and so I think it's just important to take the ups and the downs and to find a sort of find the things that make you happy and hold on to those, and then just keep moving forward and don't get too caught up in either. Just keep moving forward.
I'm asking you this question may be a little weird, but when it comes to like writing or performing, which one is closer to your heart? Is songwriting, or is it more rewarding to be out there in front of the crowd and performing for your fans?
I think I was a songwriter first before I was a performer, so maybe songwriting. I also think songwriting is maybe harder, but that is a whole thing to think about. I don't know if I would stand by that, but I think that writing a great song is maybe more rewarding. But I love performing and I love touring, and so both bring different good to your life, and it's good to do both. They both inform the other.
Yeah. And so you said you're still on tour. I know you're about to perform in front of the biggest crowd you've ever done before in November at Wembley. Yes. How are you? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Like, what are you feeling?
Yeah, I think I will be excited. I think right now I've been in such a whirlwind for the past few months, and so I've just really been focused on the thing that's right in front of me, or the show that's tomorrow, or the whatever it is tomorrow, and making that the best it can be. So I think that I will be super excited, and I'm sure super nervous about Wembley when it gets closer. But right now, she's in like a month. There's loads of things before Wembley.
Got so much going on. Before you're about to perform in front of a large crowd or a small crowd like this, do you have like a ritual that you have to do, or to get yourself like pumped up, or get yourself ready?
I'm afraid I'm really boring. Not really. I wish I could tell you something crazy. I do my warm-ups. I have a hot drink. If I'm doing a show, myself and my band will do a handshake. But it's nothing that crazy. There's no sacrifices going on.
You are an amazing artist, and I know you are gonna go places.
Thank you.
When you look at any artist and you're like, that is my peak, that is who I want to be like, just as an artist, or who they are as a person, and who is that person for you?
I think it's people different people for different reasons, but I look at Casey Musgraves, or I look at Sarah Bareilles, and I think they've achieved so much, and they still achieve so much. Casey Musgraves just got her first Billboard #1 with Zach Bryan, which I think is incredible, and it's just the two of them who wrote that song. But Casey has achieved so much, and has also been making music for such a long time, and continues to sort of make things that are so interesting and exciting and creative, and play huge shows and achieve big things. But she also just seems really happy, and Yeah, or at least seems so. I don't know her, but she seems really happy and like she makes the music she wants to make and that she loves what she's doing. And I think that's so inspiring.
Well, I mean, that radiates from you and your music as well. Like,
Thank
you
you.
really make people feel with your music. And I think that's so important when it comes to, like, listening to stuff, at least for me. But thank you, Maisie, so much for hanging
Thank you.
out
Thank
at
you.
the Helpful Honda Music Lounge. Can you give it up one more time for her?
Helpful Honda! Woo, thank you. That's really sweet.
Thank you.